An animal rights activist organization called CATS, which means Cats Aren't Trophies, is trying to ban lion and bobcat hunting in the state of Colorado. I'm going to talk about actual numbers today and talk about why this is going to be a disaster for the state of Colorado if they do it. The CATS organization argument is that we are only hunting lions for trophies and that it's inhumane to run them with dogs. Hunting lions with dogs is the main form to actually harvest a lion. They say it is inhumane because they're terrified as they're run up a tree and then they fall 30 feet to the ground. I can tell you most of those lions are dead before they hit the ground. I can also say wholeheartedly that most shots on lions are going to be under 50 yards, usually under 50 feet. And if you have a high-powered rifle or even archery equipment, it's going to be a very, very quick death. Many people, including hunters, say that lions don't do that much damage to the deer and elk herds in states. I can tell you that's false. The statewide elk population for Colorado is estimated to be around 280,000, nearly 100,000 more animals than any other western state. The mule deer population has declined over the years by almost 50,000 animals to be at about 360 to 370,000 animals and about 30,000 whitetail. Each year, hunters take 50 to 60,000 elk in the state of Colorado. And each year, hunters take between 30 and 40,000 whitetail and mule deer combined. That's less than 100,000 animals. On average, a male lion will make a kill on a deer or an elk every 7 to 12 days. On average, a female lion with cubs, which females have cubs 75% of their life, makes a kill every 4 days, with an average of 1 a week. If you do that math, each lion is going to kill about 50 deer and elk a year. If we assume that they kill many other small game animals and songbirds, it's probably going to be closer to 40 to 45 animals in a year that they kill. There are an estimated 6,000 to 7,000 mountain lions in the state of Colorado right now. If we take our average of 40 kills per lion per year, meaning they're killing songbirds, grouse, porcupines, dogs, cats, whatever they can get their hands on, and they're only killing 40 deer and elk a year, that would mean that 40 times 6,500 lions, which by the way is the highest of any western state, you would get 260,000 lion kills per year. That means that almost half of the mule deer population would be cut down by lions each year. The amount of deer and elk that lions would be taking is 3 times as many as hunters. That means that if you don't cull the lion population, things will get out of hand. Mountain lions also need huge home ranges. They're very, very territorial, with the average female mountain lion with cubs needing between 30 and 70 square miles for hunting and for roaming, and the average male lion needing between 70 and 150 square miles for roaming. There's 104,094 square miles in the state of Colorado. If we divide 104,094 square miles by the amount of lions that is in the state of Colorado, which is about 6,500, you would only have 16.1 square miles per lion. Lions are already vastly overpopulated in the state of Colorado. That's not taking into account that most of the lions are where the elk are, which is in the western third of the state. So it's probably likely less than 16 miles per lion. Colorado has a very, very strict quota management plan for their lion populations. If a certain area kills too many females or enough males, they shut down the unit. This ensures that there's enough lions in the area and that the population is actually steadily increasing. Now we're going to look at another state that did something very similar. Lion hunting is not completely banned in the state of Oregon, but hunting with dogs is banned in the state of Oregon. And the state of Oregon has about 6,000 estimated lions in the state, with many, many less deer and elk. In the 1970s, Oregon's lion population was almost extinct, with as few as 200 individuals recorded in the 1970s. So they put a ban on lion hunting. For good reason. I want lions to be around just like everybody else, but I want them to be in check. In 1995, they banned lion hunting with dogs. In 2001, there was an estimated 240,000 mule deer in the state of Oregon. In 2022, that number has dropped by more than 40%. Idaho has an estimated lion population of 2,000 to 3,000 depending on who you talk to or what source you use. Idaho kills an average of 500 lions per year, which seems like a dangerous amount. However, that population has been steady for years. If you look at Oregon's population, they have 6,000 mountain lions, and they kill only 300 lions a year on average with spot and stalk methods. They're killing less lions and have 3 times more lions. They also have less deer and elk than the state of Idaho. Idaho also has the fastest growing deer and elk population of any western state at 1% per year. The average amount of deer that hunters are shooting has not gone up that much. If you look at the numbers, who's killing all the deer? Is it people or is it lions? It's lions killing all the deer. And there's not enough deer and elk to support that many lions in the state. Because there's people that are running the government in the state of Oregon right now that are doing things based off of emotion and not what's good for the lions, ultimately what will happen is the lions will starve to death very slowly. Or they will move into residential areas like they've started doing in the state of California. The state of California has banned lion hunting since the 1970s. In the 1990s, they introduced a bill that allowed them to take and euthanize cats that have been causing problems to residential areas, danger to people, farm animals, dogs, cats, and the like. It's illegal to kill lions in the state of California unless they're causing problems, and yet there's still over 100 lions killed every year just because they're causing problems in residential neighborhoods. After those 120, 130 lions were killed, on average, of those over 100 lions killed, 60% had dog, cat, or other livestock in their stomach contents at the time of death, and only 5% had deer or other wild animal in their stomach contents, with the other amounts being too digested to figure out what was actually in their stomach contents. The reason for this, dogs and cats don't run like deer and elk. They're much easier to catch. Usually they're on leashes. And in fact, there was a lion in Hollywood, California that killed a chihuahua that was being walked by its owner while it was on a leash. That same lion is suspected to have killed a koala in the zoo. In the state of California, there was a lion in a residential neighborhood that was causing problems. So the California Fish and Game moved that lion to another area and put a large desert in between its home range and the new area that they wanted it to occupy. That lion was radio collared. And they found that that lion had starved to death because there was too much competition in the area that it was in, and it had tried to make it back to its home range, and it starved to death in the desert over the period of several weeks. When there's lions that are overpopulated in an area, lions starve to death over several weeks. When there's hunters that take them ethically, it's a matter of a few seconds, maybe an hour with the dogs chasing them, but it's a much more humane way to go if done correctly. Another thing we've seen in many other areas, extreme amounts in Africa, is that if you ban hunting on a certain animal, they become less valuable and people just start killing them because they're causing issues. In South Africa in the 1950s, there was only 500,000 plains game animals left in the entire country, with many of those species being on the brink of extinction. The country of South Africa introduced new methods, giving all the rights of those animals to the property owners of the animals that they were on the property of. And now there's over 50 million plains game animals, with one of the biggest comebacks in the history of conservation. And it's because those landowners can now sell those animals for great amounts of money and make money from these animals. These animals now have value that are intrinsic to their existence. Now, I do not believe that we should put value on a life of an animal just because of how big the bones or the antlers are on the top of its head. We should value them because they are a living being, and we should respect them as such. That being said, if cattle produces more money than a wild animal, the cattle is going to be put first. It's in human nature. If you go to the Colorado Parks and Wildlife main page, they say that 80% of their funding comes from deer and elk hunters or shooters or fishermen. 80% of their funding comes from hunters. If you take away a large majority of the deer and elk, which will happen after the wolves are reintroduced, and if the lion hunting is banned, the deer and elk populations will flounder. You will not have funding to take care of these animals anymore. The reason that 80% is funded by hunters and fishers is because they have value. You're able to go harvest them, use them as meat, use them as a trophy. It doesn't really matter why you use them. What matters is that you respect them while you're using them. If you don't respect them, you shouldn't be hunting. I promise you what will happen here is what's happened in other places. these lions will become worthless. They will become a nuisance. They will kill your cats and dogs in residential neighborhoods because they will have nowhere else to turn to, and they won't have any other food source. The state of Colorado is probably the only state that could support this many lions at a healthy level, even though territory-wise, they're already overpopulated. In other states, it's already proven that too many lions lowers the ungulate population. Short answer, we need predator control. If you don't like lion hunting with dogs, which is the most effective way of hunting lions and harvesting lions, don't call it hunting, call it predator management. But it is needed. If you want to hunt deer and elk, you have to hunt lions, wolves, black bears, and the like. We as hunters fight and bicker about predator hunting just as much as anybody else would about hunting in general. And this is a breaking point for us. We either have to be united or all of the hunting privileges we now share will be taken from us. I'm thoroughly convinced that the reason that these people are trying to ban predator hunting is because we are broken about predator hunting in general. If they can ban predator hunting, what will happen is what is happening in the state of Oregon. The ungulate populations, i.e. cloven animals, deer, elk, moose, and the like, their populations are going to begin to drop more and more and more. And then after their populations have dropped dangerously low, what they will do is blame hunters because of overhunting. Then they will ban hunting as a whole. This is a long game for them, and it's an agenda that we have to be aware of. Now, the state of Utah recently made lions a predator, meaning you can shoot as many as you want whenever you feel like it. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think that there's not that many lions in the state of Utah, but there's also not that many deer and elk, so I understand where their reasoning comes from. That's one extreme. Banning lion hunting as a whole when there's no scientific basis for it is another extreme. I think what Colorado is doing currently is probably the best balance we can find. Strict quotas so that there's not too many lions taken, and strict laws on killing females with young, which is already in effect in Colorado. It's already illegal to kill females with young. I think what's really going to happen if you ban lion hunting in the state of Colorado, your deer and elk populations are going to fall. You're also going to see animals, wolves, lions, whatever, moving into residential neighborhoods because they have nowhere else to get food. That puts your children at risk, your dogs, your cats, your goats, your llamas, everything at risk because they have no other food source to go to. I want to tell you guys that I've never killed a lion. I don't really care to go shoot a lion, but I am passionate about predator control because I love hunting deer and elk. And I will go shoot a lion gladly and eat it if it means saving 50 deer and elk a year. When I first heard that they were going to ban lion hunting in the state of Colorado, I was like, well, maybe it's actually based in scientific truth. And I did some research. And that's where I found all these numbers. And I was shocked at the numbers that actually came out of this. I understand that other people, even other hunters, are going to disagree with me. However, if you look at what has happened in banning lion hunting or hunting with dogs in other states, like California, like Oregon, it's not good for the lions or for the humans involved. Management needs to happen. Please share this with people. People need to know what the actual numbers are and not just base everything that they do off of emotion. This bill is just completely based off of emotion. If they were to actually show some really hard numbers that would actually benefit lions, I'd be all in support of it. But I don't see the numbers right now, and I actually see it being a huge detriment to lions in the state of Colorado. Let me know if there's anything else you guys want me to research and make a video about, because there's a lot of things like this happening right now, and I want to inform people as much as I can, as well as be informed myself. If we don't stand together, we don't stand at all. Happy hunting, get out there, have fun, and eat lots of Twinkies.